Welcome back to my channel. Please make sure this is the part that you are actually on so that you do not miss out on any pieces of the book. We're going to do just a quick review of what we read yesterday, that way we can read a couple more chapters than what we normally do. So yesterday we read 2 chapters. We read, I forgot what they were called. Let me look it up. We read Embrace the Chaos and Disaster. Embrace the Chaos was kind of foreshadowing to what Disaster was. So Amy Ann was in a really good mood. They had finally finished filling out 500 requests for reconsideration forms for the school board meeting that was happening the next night. But it kept talking about how Alexis and Angelina were going to get in trouble. Especially Angelina, because she had like shredded paper as her hay and it was everywhere. But at the end of that chapter, she was going to add a few more forms to her box, and whenever she went to go look for them, they weren't there, which brought us into Disaster. And in that chapter, it basically told us that Amy Ann was going like from person to person trying to figure out where the box of forms was. Alexis moved it to the office. Amy Ann went to go look in the office. It wasn't in there. And then she realized that the box was in there, but it was empty. And she realized that it was next to the paper shredder, which then she went to Angelina's room and like freaked out and was trying to put the pieces of paper back together to see if they were really hers. They were. The craziest thing happened. She like grabbed Angelina by the shirt collar and was like screaming at her, and this was just kind of funny for me to imagine, because I'm pretty sure Angelina's like, she's like a toddler. She's like pretty young, I think probably like younger than 5. So just seeing this 4th grader like holding her little sister by the shirt collar, like screaming at her, it just makes me laugh, because it's something that my sister and I used to like. That's how we used to be. Anyway, she decides to run away at the end of that chapter, which is where we're going to start today. Runaway. I had made it as far as a 4-lane road outside our subdivision when Mom found me. She pulled up alongside me in the car and rolled down the window. "Amy Ann, come home," she said. "No," I said. "Where are you going to go?" "To Rebecca's house," I told her, even though I just thought of it and didn't know how to get there. All I really wanted to do was get as far away from the house as I could. The car honked at Mom for sitting in the right lane, and she drove ahead and pulled into the next driveway. She got out and was standing next to the car when I walked up. She and the car were blocking my way. "Your little sister is a mess," Mom said. "She thinks you're never coming back." "Good," I told her. "I'm not." "They didn't mean it, you know," Mom said. "They didn't know what they were doing, either of them. They didn't ruin your papers on purpose, but they did. They ruin everything, and they never get in trouble for it. It's not fair." I could feel myself starting to cry again, and I hiccuped a sob. Mom bent down. "Come here," she said. She pulled me into her arms, and I cried into her shoulder. "I wish you hadn't stomped and yelled, but you're right. You do make lots of allowances for your sisters. Your dad and I appreciate it, but sometimes we forget and take it for granted. We're sorry, too." "I'm sorry I said I hate you," I told her. "I don't hate you." "I know, sweetheart, I know. Will you come home?" I sobbed again. I didn't want to give up, but I didn't really know where I was going to go or how I was going to live without my family and my home. Running away was so easy for Claudia and Jamie, but they were characters in a book, not real like me. I nodded into her shoulder. At home, Angelina and Alexis and the dogs practically knocked me down at the door. Angelina and Alexis threw their arms around me and hugged me tight. "I'm sorry I moved your box without asking," Alexis said. "I'm sorry I shredded your papers," Angelina said. It sounded like Dad had coached them on their apologies, but I still appreciated it. Dad hugged me too, and told me he was glad I had decided not to run away after all. "Can we print new forms for you?" Dad asked. "Your mom can run you by her office tonight if it will help. Were they something to do with the school board meeting tomorrow night?" "Yes," I said, still sniffling. "But it's too late. We made new papers for you, Angelina said. She and Alexis handed me pieces of paper where they had drawn wobbly lines and filled them in with random words. Alexis's were full of ballet terms she had written out by herself. Angelina's were full of the names of My Little Pony characters Alexis had written in for her. I knew they were just trying to help, but it made me upset all over again. I was going to have to call Trey and tell him it was over. If Mommy makes more, we can help you fill them out, Angelina said. No, you don't understand, I said. There wasn't any way to explain to them that list of ponies and ballet positions weren't going to help. They have to be filled out at school, and even if Mom was able to copy 1,000 of them, we would need every kid at Shelburne Elementary to fill one out tomorrow by the end of the day. I suddenly got goosebumps again, but the good kind, like R.L. Stine goosebumps. That was it. That was the answer. Could you, I asked Mom, make lots of copies tonight? Make 1,000 copies? Well, yes, Mom said. We can go right now. Angelina and Alexis started jumping up and down, sensing my excitement, and the dogs yipped happily. Okay, let me print one up from online and we can go, I said. No, wait. I need to make a phone call first. I ran to the kitchen and called Trey to tell him what happened. She shredded every single one of them, Trey said. He forgot he was supposed to be quiet, so his mom didn't hear him. She shredded every single one of them, he whispered. But we needed those for tomorrow's school board meeting. The 4 of us can't fill all those out again in time. By next month, it will be too late. There won't be any TV crews there next time. Nobody will care by then. I know, I told him, which is why we're going to get everybody in the school. Excuse me. I know, I told him, which is why we're going to get everybody in the school to fill them back out for us. How? Trey asked. We could only fill those out when we were in the library. Even if we got library passes, we'd have to be in class the rest of the day. Which is why we're going to run away from school. I said, butterflies flittering in my stomach, like Claudia and Jamie in From the Mixed Up Files. Play hooky from school? Trey asked in an excited whisper. And go where? I laughed. Where I always run away to, I told him. The bathroom. Malaria from watermelons. Trey and I explained everything to Danny and Rebecca on the bus, and we hid behind them as we came into school the next morning, making sure no teachers saw us before we slipped into the bathrooms. The girls' bathroom for me, the boys' bathroom for Trey. I scurried into the last stall, hung my backpack on the hook, and locked myself in. My day of playing hooky from school at school had begun. And from the mixed up files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler, Claudia and Jamie leave their band instruments at home and pack all the clothes and money and toothbrushes and things they'll need when they run away in their empty instrument cases. I wasn't in the band, and neither was Trey, so we couldn't do the same thing. But we weren't staying overnight anyway. All I had packed in my backpack was a huge pile of requests for reconsideration forms my parents had printed off for me the night before, and enough snacks to make it through an entire day. The first bell rang and I felt the first pangs of guilt for breaking the rules. When the second bell rang, the one that said I was now officially late to class, I actually shook, afraid that any moment Detective Banana was going to come into the girls' bathroom with a sniffer dog and discover me. The door to the bathroom opened and I lifted my legs up and held my breath. What if it was Principal Banana, come to look for me? But wait, did that mean I should put my feet down, so I just looked like a regular girl going to the bathroom? Maybe I should rattle the toilet paper around and flush the toilet. No, then she'd expect me to come out of the stall. Amy Ann, are you in here? Somebody whispered. I recognized the voice right away. It was Jana Park, the girl who'd called me AA. Here, I whispered, opening the stall door and peeking outside. Jana had every one of the Little House on the Prairie books stacked up in her arms. Whoa, I said. You even checked out the doubles they had on the shelf? Rebecca said to, Jana told me. She said if we didn't, we might accidentally double up, and we didn't have time for that. Rebecca, so smart. Okay, I said, pulling one of the requests for reconsideration forms from my backpack. Now I just need you to fill out a form for each book before you go back to class. Jana began to fill out the first form. But what do I say? There's nothing bad about Little House on the Prairie. She was right. But no, that was true about all the books. I had to think like Mrs. Spencer. Better, I had to think like Rebecca. They get malaria in that one, I said. That's scary, right? And the settlers think it's because they had bad watermelon. But that's not how you get malaria. That's deliberately misleading. That could make a kid think you get malaria from watermelons. Janet giggled and wrote it in. This was the plan. We were going to do exactly what Mrs. Spencer had done when she wanted to ban books, but didn't want to wait for the school board to say yes. We were going to check out as many books from the library as we could, and then turn in requests for reconsideration forms for them all tonight at the school board meeting. Rebecca and Danny stayed on the outside, slipping notes into everybody's lockers that told them to check out books and bring them in to me in the girls' bathroom and Trey in the boys' bathroom. That's why we were playing hooky from school, so we could be here all day to help them fill out requests for reconsideration forms for all the books. If even half the kids at Shelburne Elementary did it, we'd have hundreds of books banned by the end of the day. The door opened and a third grader I didn't know came in with a stack of Bunnicula books. Is this where I go to ban books? She asked. Right this way, I told her. Let me get you a form. When you gotta go, you gotta go. Rebecca came to see me right before lunch, which was good because I needed help. The bathroom was full of girls from 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, all carrying stacks of books and filling out forms. They'd all gotten bathroom passes from their different homerooms and come to the bathroom at the same time. It's hysterical, Rebecca told me as she helped a 3rd grader fill out her form. Every time somebody comes back from the bathroom, somebody immediately raises their hand to ask if they can go. And you should see the library. Half the books are gone from the shelves. There's a line of kids checking out armfuls of books. The new lady, the not Mrs. Jones, she's about to have a heart attack. She hasn't had any time to read her celebrity magazines. But she can't get mad because checking out books is her job. A library without books in it. Just the thought of it gave me the shivers, but that was exactly the point. We were going to show them that once you ban one book, you could ban them all, and then there wouldn't be any books left to read. Check them out. Check them all out, I told Rebecca. Oh, and we need more copies of the request for reconsideration form. That meant we had already challenged almost 1,000 books. That was way more than Rebecca and Danny and Trey and I had been able to do by ourselves. I'll get Danny on it, she said. He checked in with Trey. He's over there banning as many books as you are. You know Jeffrey Gonzalez? Space Cadet Jeff? I helped him come up with the reasons to ban each and every one of the Star Wars books. For what? Are you kidding? The Rebel Alliance are basically terrorists. They blow up the Death Star at the end of the Star Wars. You know how many people must have been on that station? Thousands. That's mass murder. The bathroom door clunked open, and the voice I dreaded hearing all day boomed loud to be heard over the chatter. What's going on in here? Principal Banana said. I squeaked and dragged Rebecca with me in the last stall on the end. We could hear the sound of footsteps as half the girls in the bathroom hid in the stalls and the other half ran for the exit. Every teacher tells me there's a sudden run on the bathroom today, Principal Banana said, walking up and down in front of the closed stall doors. She knocked on one of the other stall doors. What are you doing in there? Just going to the bathroom, Sophia Marin said from inside the stall. The principal's footsteps came closer to our stall. I pushed Rebecca down on the toilet seat and hopped in her lap in case Detective Banana started looking under the stall doors. Rebecca winced. Principal Banana knocked on the door of our stall, making us both jump. Who's in here? Rebecca and I looked at each other in horror. Finally, I nudged her. She had to be the one to talk. I was supposed to be home sick. Rebecca Zimmerman, she said. Rebecca, I think it's time you go back to class. Rebecca and I shared a panicked look. But I have a pass, Rebecca said. I think you've been gone from class long enough, Principal Banana said. The lunch bell rang, making us jump again, and the hallway outside filled with the sound of squeaking shoes, slamming lockers, and laughing students. Well, now that it's lunch period, I'm not technically missing class anymore, Rebecca said. She really was going to make a great lawyer one day. Principal Banana sighed as more girls poured into the bathroom. Like me or Mrs. Jones in the library, she really couldn't get mad at students using the bathroom during lunch. That's when we were supposed to use the bathroom. From now on, please wait until lunchtime to use the bathroom if you can, Mrs. Zimmerman. Yes, ma'am, Rebecca said in her sweetest voice. We waited until Principal Banana was gone, and Rebecca and I slumped back against the toilet in relief. Tell everybody to cool it with the bathroom request, I told her as she slipped out of the stall and the next book banner slipped inside. And don't forget to get me more forms.
Hey guys, thanks for checking in and watching and listening to the book as we go on. Make sure that you're washing your hands and staying safe and staying clean during this time, and we'll see you when we see you. Bye.